Welcome to the Buy Box Bandits podcast.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Buy Box Bandits podcast. Today, we're joined by my man, Steven. Steven does business. We got a full-on Southeastern PA episode. Garrett representing King of Prussia. Steven and myself representing a little further northwest.
The boondocks.
From there, but yeah, true right there. So, Steven is a retail arbitrage enthusiast and also does some OA, a little OA to prep action right there. He splits time similar to myself between Pennsylvania and Florida. Right there, a lot of virtual assistants and shit like that. And what are your trailing 30-day sales?
Right around 100,000, a little low right now.
A little lower, but you gotta get that up.
Shooting for 200,000 next month.
Right there, cool. Okay, fine, right there. So yeah, man, you want to give us a little introduction on yourself? You're a young guy, super good energy, good follow on Instagram, everything like that. Tell us how you got into Amazon.
Yeah, so like starting off, like I was moving to Florida and I was flipping stuff on eBay and I was like, I can't do this in Florida. And like moving down there, so I had to figure something out quick. I didn't want to work a 9 to 5, and I did some research. I found Amazon FBA, flipped some books, and then I was like, well, I don't want to flip books. And then I got into retail arbitrage, is really where I started to flourish. And yeah, so I did a ton of outlets, and like my employee connections and everything. Like,
sure, yeah, we walk into this one store to do RA back in February, and he's like talking to the employees. They're greeting him, hey, you got more of this. He's kissing babies, taking pictures with people. Not the last part, right there. But yeah, you're killing it with the retail arbitrage. And I think that's something a lot of people sleep on. Why, like, what do you think is so advantageous about RA, and why have you put a lot of time into it?
So I originally I watched other people that were talking about the store, like the stores I go to and stuff. And like, I really started to learn it well. Like I just figured out what brands, like I literally spent one day for 8 hours scanning everything in that one half of the store. Another day, I finished the store off. So like I had like 12, 15 hours of total scanning in there of like every product. So like after that, I had a catalog in my head of everything that's profitable in that store. So now when I go back, I'm not scanning every product. I'm just hitting different products just a little bit here and there. And I know what I'm grabbing. Like, and then it's scalable because I can just go to the next store and the next store and the next store. I walk in, the owner's like, all right. I'm like, hey, what's my competitor buying? Or hey, what are other people buying up? Or
Savage.
They can see at other stores what they've been selling a ton of. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, give me a little bit of an insight. Talk to them, chop it up with them for a while, and then I'll have leads for other stores. It'd be like, hey, we just got cleared out of this. I know when I go to the next store to keep an eye out for that, and like just keeping up with the managers, and like everyone knows me. I know almost all the owners in the Northeast. Like they know me.
You cover like multiple states, even occasionally, and stuff. And one thing that you do really well is you like grind for every cent of discounts and stuff. Like some of their RA you and I have jammed on in the past. Like he'll like send me random screenshots like coupons, like, yo, go use this. And I'm like, dude, like I have none of those stores within hours of me, but I guess I got the coupon. And everything is, and retail arbitrage is great too, because you can get stuff in hand same day. You could get it really listed quick with FBM. You could send it into FBA really quick, and everything too, which I think is really advantageous. Basically, what are some mistakes you see a lot of people make with RA?
Underestimating it.
Capacity. Yeah.
Nobody, like besides the Nike outlets, nobody talks about RA. Like a little bit of Ollie's, but besides that,
Ollie's
like,
is lit. You and I went there.
Nobody ever talks about it. Like it's like
Marshalls,
I don't
TJ
want to do it.
Maxx.
It's crappy,
people are
this and
lazy. Yeah, people are making no money talking about my time's not worth that. Your time's not worth anything right now. Yeah.
When I straight flipped RA, I ran a 33% margin. It was ridiculous.
That's insanity. That's insanity.
Like my ROI at my main store was 109% average at one point, and I was selling like 40,000 a month at that point.
Like it's a lot less competition too, it sounds like, as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like at that time, like my margin dropped down to like I think like 12 or 13 now. Like it's still very healthy.
You're making way more, and cash back too. Yeah.
And like I still mess around with the RA just because I don't prep anymore, because I pay preppers. I just go out and shop and I do my thing, and I have fun getting out of the house once or twice a week doing that. kind of breaks up my week from OA and just dealing with my VAs and everything. But yeah, like that their whole story is a catalog to me, and like I just go to other owners, just talk to them. I've a main couple ones I really work with a lot, but those those connections are really what makes it. And like if I'm buying bulk of something, like if I'm buying $1,000 or $2,000 worth of product, sometimes even more. Hey, what's the best price you can give me on this? Or hey, if I buy a pallet of this, what can you give me on it? The one product they dropped 40 cents off. That's 40 extra cents right in my bottom line. And
And those are
also,
questions other
Online
people
too,
aren't
yeah.
asking. That's the
They're not.
thing.
They're scared to ask, man. They're scared to meet the owners. They're scared to talk to other sellers.
I have never had. No, maybe I can't remember. It was like the first time I did RA. Like I was ended up talking to somebody. But I haven't. Besides that time, I have never had somebody walk up to me and say, "Hey, are you selling on Amazon?" So I am too. It's, oh my gosh, I can't have people know I sell on Amazon,
They're
this
so
and that.
scared.
Like I'm
They're
so scared. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, they see my 2 items in my cart as I'm just mowing around with a full cart. Like, like, I have 2 carts sitting up at the register. Like, I come with my dolly when I'm done checking out and everything with bins. But besides the point, like people are so scared. Like when I see
Yeah.
somebody new, I'm like, all right, let me help them. Or I'm like, hey, that's an IP right there. Like, you don't have to take my word. You don't have to trust me, but like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it happened to me. Like, and hey, do you know how to set your repricer up? Like, I try to educate people when I'm there. Like, no, Warner has a good video on Be Cool, and I'll be like, all right, just watch this video, set your repricer up exactly like this, because it's at least a basic of they're not going to tank the price, and it makes it way simpler versus someone that doesn't know what they're doing. They just undercut the buy box, and someone's selling really profitable at like 100% ROI drops straight down to 20-30% within a couple of days because they don't set it up right.
I think there's so much advantage, and this is something that Corey was talking about in one of his recent videos, in terms of digging into a niche, right? And in your case, it's a couple particular RA stores, right? But it's digging in so deep that you know every single nuance related to that category, type of product, in this case, a store, and there's so much advantage to that, right? Because you kind of referenced having a mental catalog where you can kind of walk down any aisle, know if anything's new, right? So immediately you're going to scan that thing, right? Know if anything's cheaper than it typically is. Knowing all these sorts of things, you can pick up on that, right? Because you're not just scanning with the surface level understanding. And I think that's the understanding and that's the competitive advantage that experience creates in this business, right? That's the
100%.
compounding.
Like I would never go to Walmart like unless I'm like would shoot content or something. And personally, like I'd buy something I shot for content, but like if I'm not like I would not just go to Walmart because it's not my niche and I'm scanning new things every time. But there's something that someone's all bought for back to school that it's at Walmart's 50 cents and you know we're ripping it like but that's different because I'm going there for a specific reason. Like
Yeah, you're not going in blind. Yeah, and now you got to go in blind initially somewhere so you can learn to eventually dial in on those
and it
opportunities.
has to be scalable too. Like that's the biggest thing is like I don't go to like my stores, I go to 10 in a day. I'll fill my whole pickup truck and a trailer and won't be able to see out the passenger side window. Not saying it's safe. It happens often on good days and drive around. Yeah, I drove 3-4 hours in like a big loop, but yeah, I made $3,000-$4,000 profit and I don't have to prep the crap because I got other people to prep it. Like
Have you ever considered getting like a buying team or paying
I
buyers to go
haven't.
do it?
I was thinking about it. It's just hard. I would love to be able to get their catalog. I haven't figured out how to do that yet.
Well,
They
Come
have a
that
out
would
to
be the
catalog
next step. Yeah.
it
and
was go ahead.
be able to run that through like Scan Unlimited and run that through others. I just can't figure out. I've been working with them, just trying to figure out how to export, and I this doesn't work.
There's someone on social media that I think used to be more present. She lives in like California and she has like
She
an
was a
entire
beast with
buying.
Aura. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was a
yeah.
beast with
I think
Aura.
the same store too. And she had a team that went and she, paid shoppers, brought it off, prepped
Yeah,
it,
you got to look
and it
into
was
that because that's probably the next step. And I know you're mainly focused on OA. What is the spread OARA right now?
Oh, like 80% away.
Oh, really? It's that
oh
significant?
really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
I
what's the
mean,
reasoning on that? Obviously you
I've been in
moved, but
Florida.
yeah.
Like, there's no that store's not down there, and I'm not gonna try to learn something new just because I have OA working. It's like if I was starting off with someone said, hey, go to the store, I'm not going to go there just because it's just not what I know. Like, not that I'm afraid of it. Like, I just wouldn't want to relearn it, spend all that time. It took months for me to get to where I'm at. And I've been doing it for almost a year, and it's taken like over a year to get to where I'm at in that skill. Like, that's the only reason why I still do it. Like, people tell me, oh, you can go to Mars, it's great. But I don't want to learn that. I don't like, unless someone tells me there's something crazy there and I can get bulk of it. Like, that's a big thing for me too, is bulk. But like, if people love the Nike outlets. I hate the Nike outlets, the passion. People make so much money there, but I don't like, because I can't buy bulk. Like, you can buy 5
Right.
SKU, 30 max items. I want to be able to have. So I've had max like 5 shopping carts. Kid you not, in like one transaction of me going through a store. And like at the Nike outlets, I can't do that. But some people, that's just me on how I source.
Yeah, and
Like,
OA you can do way more. Yeah, and you can delegate and stuff. Talk about the VAs because I know that's been a big thing for you as well, the virtual assistants.
yeah, so like it was and still is the biggest pigeonhole is me, as in probably everyone, almost everyone's business is the biggest pigeonhole is yourself and your mind and how
Yep.
small you want to think. And when I started thinking bigger and getting VAs and trying to offload some of my tasks, it's really grown my business. I have a buying VA, like it gives me back an hour or two of my time. He sources when he's not buying. He's great. I'm trying to train him how to run my account slowly but surely over the next year. Really how to run it because I see a lot of potential in him. Another buying one. I just got one of his home catalogs of a source. Like just to keep running this one
wholesale.
catalog for this whole time. And just some other VAs, just do some other odds and end tasks and help out.
Yeah,
So,
well, you got really you've been really good about delegating and thinking through that stuff. People helping out with prep, right? Because I know you've been reading a lot of good business books too, just in our private conversations. And as well, how do you see the Amazon business developing?
I see it. So let me give a little backstory. So I'm going to Europe in about a month, and with that, it puts a new challenge in there. Is how can I still grow but work less? Because I want to spend my time surfing and not doing Amazon, especially when I'm there. And that I have to figure out how I can delegate better. And I need to start working on that now versus like
this
when
is
I
some
go.
this is some Mike McAllowitz stuff. This is what he wrote a book about.
It's all about the delegation. It's like I don't know who that is, what the book is, but I'll have to check it out. But it like delegating has been everything, and like if I want a company or a bigger business, it has to be delegated because like I would love to automate the business, not in Amazon automation, but automate it with my VAs and have them find products and comb wholesale. And yes, I pop in here and there, but like I want to build bigger and better things than just Amazon. But I want to keep it within me. I don't want to get rid of it because I have this skill. It's like me doing my RA. I have the skill of Amazon. I'm not gonna just let it go, but I want to build it and make it better in that aspect.
Yeah, and as
Yes.
the months go by, your output gets way bigger for the same input that you put in the same time and such. What you got, Garrett?
Let's dig into the VA piece, right? Because I think a big misconception is when people hire VAs, it's going to be like a puzzle, right? You put them in the spot, they do the work, they do really good, and that's that, right? But there's like a nurturing thing, there's a growth stage. And so kind of walk us through how you onboarded your first one, what those processes looked like, and more importantly, what the training looked like. Because that's the biggest piece that I think people struggle with is really growing not only the VA but with the VA, right? At growing as a manager, growing as a delegator, those sorts of things.
So I got them all from the ones from Instagram, a DM. Another one was from on 2 of the other ones for online jobs.ph. Actually, the other one actually is from Instagram too. Sorry. So I have 4.
Wow.
Sorry, 5. One does other things.
Yeah.
But so like my training really looks like going through with them and just trying to teach them, like making Loom videos, commenting on every one of their things, why I like it, why I don't.
Yes.
Like it takes a ton of time and it's a pain.
And it should, yeah, and that's why it works though once you get them good.
And what helps, I think, is like a lot is when I make like a Loom video. Like I would try to do it once a week of how, and like as I'm going through the leads and giving like my reactions. Like, okay, as I look at don't look at it prior, give them a raw thing and just talk out what I'm thinking. Okay, this offer count is increasing significantly. It's most likely going to tank. Look at the year. Say, okay, this is the floor price. This is probably what's going to tank to, and why I'm not buying it. And then keep giving those reasonings and everything, so they don't make the mistake. And if they keep making a mistake, you gotta let them go. But another thing that's really helped my buying VA to be my best one is once I started to show him what I'm buying. Like that also opens up risks we can get into in a minute, but it forced him to literally see what I'm purchasing. Like he's knowing what I'm purchasing and why. Like, and I tell him, I say, ask me why I'm purchasing this. Fight me on the answer. And if you think you sent me a lead that I should buy and I said no, tell me I should have bought it and why. Give me a good reason. Maybe we try 10 minutes. Like, and then because if you check me, I check you. Like, yeah, I have way more experience. Most likely my words be correct just because I've been doing it for so much longer. I've been running the business very successfully. But that aspect of him having that knowledge and that ability to see that, because now I don't get those ones that the offer count changes like once or twice a month. Like, yeah, it's got a 12,000 rank. Maybe it's like a piece of women's clothing, but yeah, it's on a really fast listing, but it's size 7X in like a blue color, like that no one buys. And I don't get them anymore with 100% ROI too. Like, but it never sells is the point.
Did your buying VA start as a sourcing, like a purely sourcing
probably
VA?
to build the trust.
So he started off and he just wanted to grow with me. Like I did work with 2 other people. I still do with one of the VAs. Share them. And this guy really wanted to work with me and scaled me. He was like, hey, always ask, can I do something else? Hey, ball, like this and that. Like, and I, like as a VA, like you want to keep them happy. And also I want to do less work at the end of the day. I want to do less work. So I've started having a purchase, gave him a virtual credit card with like a $300 limit on it.
Yep.
And almost immediately flipped him up to like, we were just ripping this one thing. I forget what we were ripping. And I was like, here, I think I put like limits like $3,000 like a couple days later. Not saying I recommend it, but I did this, like I've worked with him for a while too. And anything I ask from him, he does it. And I saw the potential in him. I still do. I want to try to grow him into that position and offering more of my account slowly but sure. Like soon I'm going to start letting him actually into my seller central to fix with inauthentics, IP complaint, just all those other things. And as someone that's very bad at keeping records, I'm very good at the front end of like steamrolling.
Well, you need to put. You can't say you're bad at stuff. You got to be careful how you talk about yourself, family.
I don't prioritize it.
Okay, well that's true though. Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah, because you're in power. It doesn't happen to you. It's not a label.
Yeah.
You're in the power to change it whenever you want.
But the greatest thing is I can hire a VA to do that. And now when he purchases, he has to take a photo of the invoice, like keep the order numbers, track to make sure stuff gets to the prep center. I have to actually look into that a little more, make sure he's doing it right and everything. I have a feeling he is. I just haven't really looked at it much. But like those aspects of keeping track of everything better. Like, and I'm looking at getting another VA just to do personal stuff for me. Like send those emails I don't want to do. Like just like keep everything like, hey, like can you do X, Y? Can you send an email to this person? Ask why this happened for personal stuff, or I had to call Amtrak today because my car got hit on the auto train, but have them call them up and call them and have those 45-minute conversations to save me that time, so I'm not talking to them. Like I can just focus on the business.
A couple things. Is the buyer, is he just fully autonomously buying now? You don't review him?
No, it's after I review everything. He's only been doing it for about a month, so he's definitely getting better. I have him now reviewing the other VA's leads prior to me getting them and writing some notes, because he needs to understand that and trying to estimate quantity. But it's so hard when you aren't actually seeing the sales come in. You don't know what the keep it charge, like what they should look like, but they've never seen the whole process go through. They just see, oh, this is a good keep it, looks like a good keep it charge, and go like that's all they see. They don't see the back end.
Something Soros talks a lot about is like the bonus structure and really empowering employees, VAs, those sorts of things to take ownership in what they're doing, right? So do you have that any sort of bonus structure, like that sort of mechanism in place?
So I do pay $1 per lead. The buying VA will keep half of the cash back. So I mean that will be a very
Ooh,
Oh,
interesting.
that's cool. I like
Interesting. I've
that.
never heard that one. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that's an incentive right there. I mean, like that's more than $1 per lead. And when he's not buying, he's sourcing, sending me leads. Like I've just taught him KPF.
Mhm.
Like, so he sent me a text yesterday saying, "Oh my gosh, I love KPF. I'm not reverse sourcing anymore."
Boom. Yeah, that's keep a product finder for anyone listening. You got to look into that. Garrett has a good YouTube video on it. If you don't
Yeah.
already know what
I
that
think I
is.
sent you his video, Garrett. I know he said 1 or 2 years
Yeah.
from
I have
the
a lot of
crazy.
good ones about Keep a
And
Product Finder.
yeah. So Steven, you've grown, especially in like the last like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Your monthly sales around doubled and they'll continue. It should be 3x in the next month in terms of growth from where you were. What are the big takeaways on the road from 30, 40, 50 grand a month in sales to 50, 60, eventually 100, 140, that kind of thing?
It's so simple. It's like everyone wants to complicate, but it's just buying more and niching down even better to knowing what you can and can't do on what sites. Like most of the stuff's OA. I know where I can buy bulk. I can go really hard there. I know the coupons. I know the product cycle, and I just rip it. Like I go crazy on it, and then I don't really have to buy as much. I kind of just keep sending some stuff in slowly, just with other websites. And when it's good, it's time to go hard. Like I'm just buying deeper. Like trying to buy for a month or two versus buying for 2 days, or when you have like 1,000 rank item and you're sold out all 20 units of your test buy, and then you can't repurchase for months. Like,
Well, that's the
And again,
problem. Yeah, when you see this stuff is like a big sale, you might only be able to hit once every
Yeah.
2 months. But once you've been in the game a while, you start to be able to
you have
take.
the confidence. The
Yeah.
confidence is huge,
Yep.
right? That confidence is part of the biggest compounding effect, right? It's the same time, but not buying 10, buying 100, not buying 100, buying 1,000, right? Buying
Yep.
higher ASP items. That confidence is equally as important as the actual analytical ability that goes into it, right? Because you can have the proper diagnosis, but if you don't have the confidence and the guts to actually pull the trigger, you still stay at the same place,
100%. Like I had a test order $12,000. Like,
Oh, gee, that's not a test order. Anything above 5K isn't a test order, I would say.
I mean, they could keep a chart. Like next time, I could end up buying 1,000. Like,
Makes sense.
yeah, like
So-
that's where I'm at though, and that's where I'm comfortable. Like even with Amazon on the listing, like that's the test order. Like,
Gotcha.
So, transitioning a little bit, obviously, so Miles and I know kind of a little bit more about you than probably most, right? Your mom actually had recently gotten into the business. Talk us through
Yeah.
like what that's like, right? Because I think the biggest advantage to social media is having people around you, not physically, but like technically, right? That are doing the same sorts of things. So talk us through like how that is like being around someone doing the same sort of thing in the same vicinity.
it's difficult. It's somewhat because like I come in here I like with family, it's different. Like teaching and showing because like you have like very low what's the word I'm trying to bring for now
Patience.
patience. Sorry, there you go. A very low patience. So like it's not as difficult because like I'm like you should understand this, like especially if you're doing it for a while, to this should make sense, like, but it's hard. Like I think you'll do better with wholesale, when especially since it's just simpler, like call like just being on the phone more, you're just
Yeah.
basic stuff versus like OA. It's like, gotta remember this reward you get
This
here,
coupon,
and
and if they get canceled, do this. Oh, and then
yeah,
you got the coolest cash. And I get that completely. But like
Mhm.
anything, it's a skill you learn over time.
yeah. So it's kind of like that part's difficult, but I think after ASD and we're going to a convention after that, like I think it'll really light the fire and start rolling.
So if they see a guy running around with the curly flow and the Celeram t-shirt with the hat on, they know it's you at ASD.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Fire,
You
fire,
know.
cool. Sweet. And then what are your plans for Q4? So you're going to Europe, running the business for a little while, but I know you're coming back to Chad Scale during Q4. Talk about that.
Just buying deep. Like now is the time for my test buys for Q4. Like this is for everyone. Like no matter when you're listed, even if it's in like October, like it's your time to do your test buys now, because you don't want to do your test buys when there's those massive sales, assuming you're OA, and those sales, like, oh yeah, let me buy 20 units. Well, yeah, you bought your 20 units. I'm coming through and saying, wow, that's a great product. Let me stock that out. Or hey, Miles and Garrett, and so hey, you guys want to stock this product out? All right, bet.
Yeah, the boys
We're
get
all
involved.
in.
Yeah.
All right, we all spent $10,000 on the product, and your little test buy is just getting Amazon as the stock's gone, or you're prepping it and your stuff's gone. Like now's the time for the test buys, just in general. Like
And to really learn. Yeah, to learn especially, because then if you really take the time to learn, network, etc. right now, it'll be a hell of a lot easier to take big advantage during Q4. That's why you got to take great action daily to make that happen. And then as we finish up here, something that's been super valuable, Garrett, myself, I know you has been the networking side of things. I know you like to talk about this a lot, as do I. Talk about how that's been important so they don't just hear me yell at them all the time about that.
Network has been like,
yeah. Hydrate up, boy. Hydrate up. Yeah, this is an important topic there.
Before we start ranting a little bit, like network is your network, like in general. I've been posting a lot more, and it gets me a recognition. Like even if I go back a while, like I was very active in your group and your coaching thing, and like just being that aspect. Like when I went to the sellers convention, Miami Sellers Conference, people knew who I was. Like
isn't
just
that crazy? Yeah, with like 300 followers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started posting more and being more active on Instagram and shooting reels and stuff. And now I have people like DMs. Like I usually have like 10, 15 DMs every day, just people talking to me, chopping it up. Like, and maybe 1 out of 50 of them, hey, you want to do a Zoom call? Like really want to get closer with. But you get to choose who your friends are and who you work with. Like it's not like high school when you chose your lab partner and you didn't like your lab partner, but you're still stuck.
Or like corporate where you have to choose who you or you don't get to choose.
It's so lucky and unique, that we get to be able to have that choice. And most people talk to no one, but the people who make the most money talk to a lot of people and get a lot of input. They get a lot of leverage. Right there, they have to work less. Like
from Miles, like I was visiting him and like I started by just networking with him very well. But yeah, I was in Miami and he told me to buy something like a product and like I bought a ton of it and it's been very profitable for me. Like there we go. And there's so many other people. It's not just Miles too. Like I have so many other people that are like, all right, hey, like PB buy this, flips, like PB flips, Sean, the gang right there. Yeah, the whole crew right there. And like networking and something else with networking too is I've really started to look into is what aspect can they put in my business? As in like, okay, they're a great friend, great people and all, but like my one buddy, Nick, like I've always wanted to learn, like not personally learn it, but have someone who can do coding and just adds a great whole guy too. I forgot. Yeah, I should have. Aspect of my business that
Nick came to the bar with us once in March. Remember that? Yeah.
Oh, that's sick. But he adds a whole aspect of like the computer side. So now our business is very much changing very quickly. But I add my aspect of knowing a lot of these brands and been around the block for a while. And he adds that whole aspect. So with us together, it builds it perfectly because I would not be doing it I'd be not doing this stuff without him and he wouldn't be doing it without me. So we both bring our piece of the pie and like I have a ton of ideas when it comes to this stuff and he can execute it.
Cool. There we go, man. Well, very well said. RINOA, Chad Scaler right there.
Chad Scaler.
Be on the lookout for the boy at ASD too. Yeah. Right there. Where can people find you on Instagram?
Steven Does Business.
Yep, that was a name chosen by your boy right there on that. He said the biggest procrastination in the world is the what should I name my page when you posted nothing. Right there. But luckily got a good name on and versatile too, goes beyond Amazon.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing.
There. Sweet. Sounds good, man. And so go follow the boy right there. Thanks for coming on and thanks everyone for listening.
Thanks for having me.
See you guys.
All right. Yeah, thanks everyone.